shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday.
They were nurses, they went to work, and the nurse, charge nurse, and just go ahead and start with the patient. And the rule was that you don't just start with, you look at the chart and be brief before you go in. They want to skip that, so they didn't do it. And those nurses got fired. And Miss Moultrie heard about it, and she told me about it.
So then he called us together for a meeting, and they were able to get these people back together, back on their jobs. But just through those meetings, we found out that this was not an isolated case, that this kinds of stuff was going on throughout the hospital. We were making $1.30 an hour, and some people were being paid like less than that. We found out that there was a lot of discrimination, that employees were referred to as monkey grunts and a lot of other derogative names.
And after they got those 5 nurses rehired, we decided at that point that these nurses had enough guts to stand up for themselves, but 95% of the people, our people in that hospital, didn't have that kind of guts.
Bill Saunders was the person that I contacted concerning the workers, so he was a motivating factor. He wasn't in the hospital to help bring the workers out, but once we got him out, then he was able to work with them and to keep them focused.
Some guys from the Jackson Street Panthers, I had those guys. I was working in the mattress factory then. For 20 years I was at the mattress factory, and I had some of them working with me at the mattress factory. So they were our leaders in terms of making sure folk were protected. They were structured in a way that even when Dr. Abernathy was going to go to jail, we would have some of them go to jail first to make sure that they had protection. When Miss Moultrie went to jail, we made it on the Jack. Those guys were so amazing. Some would come to me on a Monday morning, Mr. Bill, you want me to go to jail today, son? Because they can go in, and the moment they go into jail, they took over. Because they've been in there so regularly, they had a position in jail. So we were able to get protection there.
So Mr. Mary Moultrie went to jail?
Yeah, more than once.
The marches had numerous people, the entire community. Most of the marches were 15 to 5,000 people strong. We reported to the Union Hall like early in the morning, 7 to 8 o'clock in the morning. We did it in shifts. So we had a lot of support. We got a lot of money. Nobody lost cars or home. Nobody got put out because they couldn't pay the rent because the union took care of all of that. And plus they gave each employee, each striker rather, a stipend every week.
The powerful blacks especially didn't want anything to do with it. They had nothing to do with the hospital workers. And they used the excuse for a time about me that they didn't want to be a part because I was a militant, and that I had said that, I wasn't that nonviolent. And so they couldn't deal with anybody that was nonviolent. Yet they wouldn't define what nonviolent means, because I never hit anybody, never fought anybody. I just said, I ain't gonna let you hit me. You don't got no right to beat on me. And they said I was wrong for that. And I was 40 then, I'm 80 now. I'm still not gonna let anybody hit me.
Light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine.
One of the reasons that they fired those workers, they had a real strong labor lawyer, and they told them that if you fire those that are giving you the trouble, which was about 10, and then the other ones, even if they strike, the other one will come back, and then you don't have to take back those ones, the 10 that you didn't want. So that's what they went. They fired, invited them to the office to talk, and fired them, said they left their position. And what we were able to do at that point is to get the call in FCLC, who was a part of the 1199 out of New York, and they came in as a package deal, and that's how it came in. But all of it hinged around Mary Moultrie.
And when they got in here, we had a lot of rallies and marches, and it was just a lot of daily activities. And 1199 suggested that we bring in SCLC because they had a lot of expertise in rallies and marches and motivating the community and stuff, which they did. And we went from there. And the rest of it is history.
And it ran from April to July. And that's the height of the tourist season for Charleston. So they had curfews, and the city of Charleston was closed down for 100 days. So it really changed the idea of some of these people, that because they was telling the hospital workers that y'all are not even important for this hospital. Y'all are non-professional workers. Y'all don't make any difference to us here. Otis Robinson was the Muslim guy here in Charleston at that particular time, but God, he was such a speaker. And he went before those people that night and said, how could anybody tell you y'all are non-professional workers? Y'all the one that with the patient 24 hours a day. You feed them, you clothe them, you make them laugh, you do everything. Nobody can call you, and don't let anybody call you a non-professional. And the hospital can't function without you, because they told them that they could function without those people. And Otis Robinson is another key leader that was with Miss Moultrie and them, and they were able to make a lot of things change.
So Miss Mary Moultrie was definitely seen as a powerful figure.
She was, again, I keep saying, she was the catalyst, the glue that kept people together. She could emotionalize folk, and she was in the hospital. So, I mean, folk just gathered around her, and she made some sacrifice with that, because if you're the leader of anything like that, then you're the one that catch the most hell.
After we went back to work, things worked kind of okay for a while, and then it started regressing. Everybody got back to work and didn't want to hear anything about the union. In 1975, I was terminated. And I looked back and I didn't see anybody with me, so I never went in for a grievance or anything. I just took it as my loss. I didn't feel I had the support of the workers. Everybody, was back, and they had bought homes and new cars and stuff, and they didn't want to hear about the union.
I don't know if anybody, and I'm 80, that has been involved in helping people in the movement that ever been successful for themselves. I want you to remember that. Nobody that I know come out of this thing. It makes a lot of people rich, a lot of people get good position, but the people that did the heavy lifting even get forgotten, and folk don't want to.
The one that got the real rolling.
Yeah, the one that did the really make the stuff, made the sacrifice, put their lives on the line. Went to jail. I went to jail over there. During the hospital strike. I've been locked up over there. So it changed the whole idea of power. We made sure folk understand that we had some power.
The strike lasted in all for 113 days. It was 100 days for Medical University and 13 days later for county hospital.
The whole thing that the hospital worker was about is to make sure that we had people registered to vote. We wanted to do a supermarket. We wanted to get people to run for political office. All of this stuff was a part of that package. And that's what came out of that strike. The whole state of South Carolina changed.
I would say that a lot of things came out of it. We got better working conditions. We got people in positions who never would have been in positions. I went to Medical University several times because I was sick, and I noticed that we got numerous black RNs, young black RNs. And in 1969, they only had one or two.
hospital strike was the beginning of people realizing what kind of power you can exercise if you stand up for what you believe is right. And Miss Moultrie was the epitome of that whole thing.
So I would say that we made a lot of changes in the community, but it's a lot of changes that can be made. But we have to stand up for what we believe in. And once we stand up for what we believe in, others would stand with us.